for the serious whitetail hunter, the upcoming season can be full of anticipation, excitement, and a lot of unknowns.
There's just nothing growing. Nothing. It's so frustrating.
Some seasons, after all the hard work, the success almost feels like it comes too easily.
I'm in shock. I'm in shock right now. Scissors. You got it.
Then, there are some seasons, no matter how hard you work, the season just completely humbles you.
Biggest deer of my life, and I just screwed it up.
I don't know what the heck's going on here. I don't know. I missed that deer. Not very good.
Then there are some where it just comes down to straight perseverance.
He's a giant. I hope I got that on film. Yes. Thank you, Lord.
This time, we lean on Romans 5, 3, and 4. And not only that, but we also glory in tribulation, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, and perseverance produces character, character produces hope. And to us at Whitetail Edge, perseverance means results. I'm Ben Rising, and welcome to this year's Whitetail Edge. Whitetail Edge is brought to you by Mossy Oak, Black Widow Deer Lures, Prime Archery, G5 Outdoors, and Novix Tree Stands. Hi, Ben Rising here with Black Widow Deer Lures. On our show, Whitetail Edge, we're always looking for that one little thing to get the dupe on a big buck. For us, to just become Black Widow Deer Lures.
Yes! Yes, baby!
I smoked him, dude!
Black Widow Deer Lures, never brown or broken down, and always fresh.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to Whitetail Edge. I'm Torry Miller. My expectations going into this year, this would have been the second year for my Illinois property, the second year that I owned my Illinois property, and I'd picked up a new lease in Indiana, so I was really focusing on the lease in Indiana and my Illinois property. I knew that there were some good deer on Illinois, starting to really pattern them and figure out how they move through the property, and I was really excited. And so I hadn't had a chance to get over there and do all the prep work that I wanted to, you know, the clearing and stuff. So on that property, there's a really small food plot that's already there, and that's basically all I've got to work with until I can get in there to do some more work. But I was figuring out how things were moving through the property, and I was getting pretty excited because I thought my chances were really good. I had success there last year, and I thought this year that it would be even better. You know, I kind of had stuff figured out a little bit more. As you do every year, you learn. But I had also got this lease in western Indiana that I was really excited about, and it had some phenomenal deer on it. So I was really trying to figure that one out too. Going back in here to a Novix I hung last year. Actually, it's the tree I killed out of. I really like where it's at. I'm gonna go back in there. I'm gonna do a little bit of scouting around. Just make sure the sign still looks like I think it did late in the wintertime when I was here. I know where the bedding area is, where that buck that I shot last year came out of. Get the cobweb off camera here. So I know where that bedding area is. And if everything looks good, then I'm just going to tighten my straps down. I loosen my straps up in the wintertime to allow the tree to grow so your stand doesn't grow in there. So all I got to do is tighten the straps up just like you're hanging them. And everything's good. It's still hanging in the tree, but everything's loose. So So I'll just kind of loosen it up, tighten the straps up, and away we go. That's my plan anyway. See if I can't find a good scrape tree or a rub tree and get that thing fired up. So we'll see. Oh yeah. Look, this is what I'm talking about already. Yep, I'm right in the area because I remember that tree. That tree was destroyed last year. It was all right here. All these trails converged. Yep. Cool. DeerCast has got new features on their app, mainly a mapping feature. And in that mapping feature, there's some really cool stuff. Of course, you've got all your weather and everything that you've been used to, the algorithm for what days are good and great. But now you've got a mapping tool. And what I've been doing this spring and summer is I've been going back through all my properties, remapping everything. I am right here at the base of Novik's tree that I just put up. And I'm going to add that tree stand, add a waypoint. See, it gives you little crosshairs right there. And place waypoint. I can name it Novik's Trail Crossing. And then you can pick your icon, you can pick your color. I think that's what I'm doing for stuff. Save, and there it is. So one cool thing about this mapping feature that I absolutely love is you can turn things on and off. So if I don't want to see any waypoints, I can turn off all my waypoints. Now you can't see anything. I can turn on rain stations, I can turn on waypoints. You know, you can measure pass, plot an area, parcels, all that stuff. It's all right there. So I'm super excited about DeerCast having this mapping feature. I cannot wait to actually utilize it this fall. It is nice to have everything in one app. So that's DeerCast. So there you go, DeerCast. Try it.
Whitetail Edge is powered by DeerCast, Illusion Systems, Deer Grow, Redneck Blinds, Spartan Cameras, and Analogic.
So October 1st rolls around, that's the season opener, and typically I don't get too excited about hunting, you know, until later in October because it's still warm. Unless I've got one pattern, you know, on an evening feeding pattern or something like that, I don't really get too excited until later in October. But DeerCast said that this epic cold front was coming through like the first weekend in October. You know, it's something that I hadn't seen for a lot of years. And I had a Spartan out close to home, and there was a good buck 911 that was showing up on that, and why not? You know, I wasn't busy with farming yet, so why not try it? So first couple days of October, I was out there sitting in the stand over standing bean field. Didn't see him, had a lot of good encounters. I hunted 911 for a couple days in early October, and by that point, harvest season was rolling around. It was time for me to get in the combine, so I had to go work for a couple weeks at a time, and 911 basically disappeared off of cameras. So couldn't get on him, couldn't figure out where he was at, and I was farming anyway. So fast forward to Indiana's gun season, and right away opening weekend, you know, I get word that somebody shot this, you know, giant 10-point right in the area, and my Spartans got pictures of the neighbors walking all over my property looking for blood from this deer. So on my Illinois property with the Spartan cams, I had 2 or 3 deer that I was really watching. One was a really nice 8 with a lot of mass, and I've got pictures of him in the summer. He late summer ended up breaking off his main beam on the right side. There was a couple more bucks. One was called the Flyer 10, or what I called the Flyer 10. I really wanted to see him in person, but I was getting a lot of pictures of him, but I wanted to see him in person just to kind of gauge how he was. And all in all, I mean, there was 3 or 4 deer that I was really watching in Illinois.
second time I've had a shooter come behind this tree. My buck last year did the same thing. Went behind this tree, and now I can see the path, I guess, if you want to call it that. I can see where they're going. They go down there and they hit a scrape. The scrape's about 40 yards that way, but it's too thick to get a shot that way. Everything's too thick that way. I was sitting up on this side. But I'm sitting here and about 20 yards behind me. There's a pretty good tree. I may need to tear the Novix down and move it back and put it up in that tree. But man, it's thick. I'll have to clear some shooting lanes. I don't know. We'll see. I'll think about it. Not a great shot. Not a great shot. I had him right here at the distance I wanted. I hit him high. Farther back than I wanted. Not very good. God, he was right here. Well, I'll look at the footage. Might as well get down and get out of here tonight. I don't think he's going to die tonight.
So right away I could tell this is not a hit that, you go and you recover the deer soon. This is I'm going to back out that night. I'm going to go home, I'm going to review footage, I'm going to look at deer tracker, formulate a plan, and come back in the morning. So the last point I saw him off to my right, and he ran down that ditch and up to the other side of the ridge. So from there I needed to completely change my exit to actually go out the other way because I didn't want to bump him if he was down, somewhere. So he was actually heading towards how I typically go out. I had to change and go out completely the other way so I didn't bump him. So that evening back at the cabin, I looked at footage on my computer over and over and over and frame by frame until I literally could not see straight. I mean, I reviewed the footage so much, took more video of the footage, reviewed that video just over and over and over, looked at deer tracker. I was pretty convinced my only chance was if I clipped that artery, he would be dead. If I didn't, he would probably live.
Shot him 2 ridges over, followed him down this ridge here. Blood's not
great. It is red blood, which is arterial blood, but if I'd clipped that artery, he ought to be dead by now. So anyway, followed him down the hill, across this, and then I'm just finding little itty bitty specks of blood. Look at right there. All right, so I've been tracking for about an hour and a half now, and it's pretty slow going. I don't know where the other video cut off, but tracked him all the way down the hill. I mean, we've probably gone 400 yards, and the blood's just not real good. This just ain't right. Oh, the joys of making a bad shot. This is what you get. So, I only hope he lives. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. Just, it's not a fatal shot. My only hope was that I clipped that artery, but there's no way. I looked at DeerCast. I put the tracker on the maps. I've gone over a mile tracking already, back and forth. I mean, probably 700 yards the way the crow flies. He'd have been dead by now. So, gosh, it just makes me sick.
Whitetail Edge is brought to you by these other fine sponsors: Advantage Ag and Equipment, HHA Sports, Miller's Gun and Supply, Rogue Bowstrings, NFP Insurance, Classic Rack, COBRA Archery, Packer Max, and E-Bikes of Holmes County.
Look, this is not something I'm proud of. I've lost 3 deer in my life, this being one of them. The last one was in 2015, and I still think about it. So this haunts me to no end. I think about it more than a deer that I have harvested. Golly, that does bother me. Anyway, sorry, I lost my train of thought. But I even debated about sharing this footage, but I feel it's important. If you hunt long enough, this stuff's going to happen. So there's no excuse. I could make a ton of excuses, but at the end of the day, there's no excuse for it. And I just rushed the shot. Looking back at the footage, he had actually started following the doe again, and his front leg tripped on a limb. And that made him kind of stumble. And when he stumbled, in my mind, I'm like, well, he's going to start trotting. And I just completely rushed the shot and blew the shot and hit him high. And God willing, I would have found him. I didn't find him. And I'll still think about this deer many, many years from now.
Hey guys, thank you for watching another episode of Whitetail Edge. If you could, please hit subscribe, hit the little bell icon. It'll let you know when we upload a video for you to watch. You can, of course, find us on our YouTube, DeerCast, Carbon TV, Mossio Go, Rumble, you name it, we're on it. Please show us some support. We really appreciate it.